React is a front-end framework which is made using JavaScript. And in this particular front-end framework, the magic of React is it helps you to load the website faster. If you remember few years back, all the website used to feel slow. Even though your internet is faster, changing between the pages seemed like it's loading again and again. Still, if you go to Amazon, I guess whenever you click on new product page, it takes a while to load. So this happens because all these websites are not made using front-end frameworks like React. Some of the websites nowadays include React. So example, if you go to Facebook, that time it loads faster. So the thing with this faster loading is it uses React in the front end. Most of the website you might visit nowadays also made using React. So that's why React helps us to build modern website. What does React actually includes? Whenever you build website using React, it is usually made using components. All the pages and all the sections you see, all these are components. If you are using React Router DOM or some kind of routing system, then you'll be using one component which is dedicated for that particular thing, meaning that particular page. And all the sections are there, right? Maybe header, maybe footer, maybe some middle area, maybe sidebar. All these are separate component. And this component is nothing but one JavaScript function or class if you are using older method. But this is just one class or function which will run whenever the data is requested from the website. Meaning if you go to about page, that time this particular component loads and it will display whatever the function you have put in that particular component. And also this will have some kind of state management system. The basic state management system which is used in this modern React are usually component level state using use state hook or something like that. And not just that, it will also have some kind of advanced state management like context API or Redux. It makes sure all the data between these components are shared between each other and accessible wherever you require it to be accessed. For example, when some kind of product gets added to cart, you need to make sure in the header that cart value gets increased from 0 to 1 if you're adding new product. So that's about component and its state. So now what and all features does this particular front-end application will have? Front-end will be responsible for sending the data which user enters to the backend API. You need to have one backend API in order to make sure the front-end application works fine. So whatever the data which you enter, that needs to go to backend, as well as whatever the data which is there in the backend can be visible in the front end. So you need to make sure it has authentication so that not all the data in the backend will be visible to everyone. So in that particular authentication, it's not just front-end authentication. In the backend also authentication must be there so that people won't find a way to hack around whatever the application you have built. So how does this communication happens? Usually these communications happens using AXIOS or Fetch API. So using this particular thing, front-end application can send request to backend, and in the backend, whatever the response is received, the front-end application should parse that particular JSON object, and it needs to make sure it's visible as per your requirement in the front end. And security is most important in this. Yes, your backend will have obviously some kind of security, but doesn't mean you let everything visible in the front end. Meaning in the end all the pages will be accessible to the front end, but doesn't mean you don't put some kind of restriction which page should be visible when. For example, if user is not logged in, then they shouldn't be made visible dashboard page, and if user is logged in, then they shouldn't be shown the login page. That's why you need to have some kind of logic in the front end also, which makes sure these things doesn't happen. Most people forget to add this particular thing, so they just let it be like that only. That's not a good idea in terms of security, because whatever the data might be visible in admin page, even though it's publicly accessible, it might have some kind of sensitivity to it which reveals some information related to backend. So you don't want it hanged around without any kind of protection for the component level. So now the question arises, do you want to become a front-end developer in React? If you have interest in front-end technologies like HTML and CSS, then obviously you can become a front-end developer. If you don't know how to design, that's absolutely fine. Designers will give you the design which you have to code, and if you don't like coding using HTML and CSS, there is another front-end opportunity also available where the logic is maintained with the database, meaning I said right, all the state and Redux, all this context API and all these things also are separate jobs which is dedicated to front-end developers. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead with that also. That's it for this video, guys, and if you like this kind of videos, don't forget to hit that like button, and for more videos like this, subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.